What's up, y'all? Entropy here. Welcome back to Eastern Michigan Eagles Dynasty. This is episode 11, and we are getting to the ending point of the season. We're nearing bowl season. We will not be participating in bowl season, as you can see by the record, but nonetheless, the season is coming to a close. I believe this is our second to last game of the entire year. We'll be playing Bowling Green this week. But you may notice that the little check mark next to the recruiting box isn't there like it normally is. Well, in case you forgot from last episode or whatever, I'll kind of show you why that is. So at the end of the last episode, we actually got a lot of recruiting news. We got a defensive end, Kyle Newby, making a visit today, so that'll be nice. We got a lot of news, most of it bad, but some good. I'm going to be honest, I actually can't remember which commitments we got, but I think we got 2 commitments. I think it was it Dan Scott, the running back, and Claude Jackson, the receiver. I think we got commitments from those 2 recently. I think those are the last 2 that we got, so I'm going to say that it might have been them, but if it wasn't, I'll probably correct myself in editing. But nonetheless, with that, we also got some bad news in that the center we were going after, I think his name was Kevin Hughes. He's a 70 overall. Was going to be instant starter on our team most likely. He decided to commit to Cincinnati, so we lost out on him, and we're going after now Aaron Atkins for our center spot. You know, less exciting, only a 64 overall, but I mean, center's a center. We do need to bring one in. You may have caught a glimpse of it. I'm trying to remember the other things I wanted to show. We're in the lead for Riley Smith now. The receiver is 6'4", 209 receiver, 92 speed, 57 catching is not good, but you know, maybe we'll get that developed a little bit more. But yeah, so we've taken kind of a solo lead on him, and then for Reggie Lucas, who is the better receiver of the 2, it's becoming, I want to say a 2-horse race, but it's more of like a 1.5-horse race, because there's this pretty big gap between us and Florida right now, but we have points to give, so we're going to keep giving them to them and see what we can do with that. Even though we have a lot of receivers already, looking at our team, it would not hurt to bring in more, especially some that we think might be able to turn into something cool, or something special, I should say. So Kyle Newby, he's the guy that's visiting this week. I think he visited Kent State recently, yeah, so that's probably why Kent State has such a big lead on us, but we'll kind of close that gap back up with our visit this week. And hopefully we can take the lead back on him. Caleb McMillan, he's visiting week 15, I believe, yeah. And we're in a 4-horse race for that guy, so we need at least one D end. I would love to bring in both, honestly, just because our pass rush has been subpar, particularly from the end spots. Eugene Williamson has done well at times, but he's been pretty inconsistent, and we could use some help. We got the 2D tackle commits coming in. We've got the lead on Robert Clark. I'm not sure if we knew that before or not, but we've got the lead on him, but he still isn't really like favoring us a ton over any other school yet. So we're still waiting on that. AJ Marshall, Northwestern's got the lead with him. But like I said, with the other guy, the receiver, if we've got the points to give, we'll keep putting them in, because we could use a lot of linebacker help as well. This team is not very good. We got quite a few corners we're going after here. Zach Johnson is the gem that we've had on here for a while. Arizona State still leads on him, so I don't love our odds to land him, but you never know, maybe we'll get lucky. And then Carlton Jenkins and Art Jackson are 2 guys that I kind of threw on here in case we don't land Zach Johnson, because I still would like to bring in at least 1 or 2 corners in this class, just because another thing that has been pretty evidently bad has been our coverage. It's been good at times, but then, you know, you'll see where we call man coverage and the defenders are nowhere near the guy that catches the pass, and so that just comes down to the players. So Art Jackson would be a nice get. He's a JUCO guy, so he's gonna come in most likely as a junior, but I guess he could come in as a sophomore as well. I'm gonna guess that he's gonna come in as a junior, but it would be nice to bring in a guy, because he's got 88 man, 84 zone, and 92 speed, so he's already kind of the complete package that we need at corner, so he'd come in and probably be a day 1 starter. And then this is an addition I made recently, Louis. I always want to say McKeon, but Michigan had a tight end whose last name was spelled like that, and they said McCune. So I don't know how it's actually pronounced. I'll probably vary between the two like I normally do with people's names I don't know how to pronounce. But I just threw him on here and dumped in the points remaining that we had. But if you notice, I have not spent all of the points, and that is because of the big news from last week, which was that the 5-star recruit that we've been in the running for, Brian Thompson, finally locked us out. So the reason that I've got the 500 points set aside is if you notice at the bottom right, the Coach XP meter, if we can fill that up in this next game, we'll be able to upgrade our coach, and we'll be able to get one break the lock ability, and that will allow us to, as the name implies, break the lock, and we'll jump right back into the race for Brian Thompson. Our points will go up a lot. I think we'll still be placed below Notre Dame, I believe, maybe even below Florida, but we're going to be a lot closer than we are, and we won't be locked out anymore. So those 500 points are going to go right back into Brian Thompson if we're able to get that coach upgrade by the end of this game against Bowling Green. And if we don't get it this week, then of course we could get it next week, but at that point we might be too far behind because we have to be within 2,000 points of the last place team that he's still considering, which in this case is Florida, which we can see there. Florida's above the cutoff line, so we have to be at least, or at worst, minus 2,835 in this instance. Basically, we just have to be less than 2,000 points behind Florida. And since we can't put points into him, I am concerned that Florida would be able to extend the gap beyond 2,000 by next week, and then we wouldn't be able to break the lock on him. So I'm really hoping that we'll be able to get him this week, especially because Florida's visit is still coming up. It's not quite happening yet, but nonetheless, it is coming. It's still going to happen at some point. So if we can get that coach upgrade this week, I'll break the lock on Brian Thompson. We'll jump back into the race, and we'll keep trying to get this 5-star recruit in our first recruiting cycle somehow. I can't believe we made it that far with him to begin with. And had this happened earlier in the year, I probably would have just thrown in the towel on him. But, I mean, it's week 13. Our visit's only 2 weeks away. So, like, we're right there. So I think it would be worth the investment, especially because he would be, just like I said with Art Jackson, this Brian Thompson would come in and be a day one contributor. We'd probably play him at, like, 5 different positions. So, yeah, that's why I don't have all my points spent this week, is because I'm holding out hope we'll be able to break the lock on him. So to do that, though, we got to have a big game against Bowling Green. So let's get after it. There are 74 overall. Oh, uniforms. There are 74 overall. So Western, I believe, was a 70 overall, and we just got a big win against them last week. So hopefully we'll be able to keep some momentum going, and most importantly, hopefully the defense will be able to get some stops today. What to wear this week? Let's go with the gray tops with the green helmet, green pants. I don't know if like I've said, I lose track of which uniforms we have and haven't worn. I try to change it every week, but I like the way those look. So let's go with that. Huh. Well, their best players are not that much better than ours in terms of overall, so maybe we'll stand a chance here. Coach N7 Ropey getting the team fired up. Bowling Green coming out with the orange helmets like they always do. Very unique, I must say. There aren't a lot of teams with orange helmets. Actually, wait, that's not true. What am I saying? We're not dead last anymore after beating Western. Central is below us, and that's fun because we get to finish our season against them. And then Bowling Green is 3rd in the East, below Ohio and Buffalo, who we lost to. We lost to both of those teams, so we may have a chance here. And here we are at Rynerson Stadium once again, where the Bowling Green Falcons will be taking on the Eastern Michigan Eagles. We got a bird battle this week, folks, and it's going to be a good one, hopefully. I'd love to keep the momentum going after that big win against Western, where we could have had... Oh, we won the coin toss again. I think that's 4 in a row now. That game against Western was fun because at the end of it, when I was trying to pick a player of the week, I remember I was like, there could be, I don't know if I said it audibly or not, but I remember I was like, there could be literally 4 guys that could get it, because we had the kicker who made the game winner, Brian Matthews, who showed grit, fought off injury. We had Jamie Gay, who I think had 2 sacks on Western's final drive that helped force them to punt it. There were a lot of good things that happened in that game, even though we only won by a field goal. No Townsend, so I guess he is still injured. Despite being listed as questionable, he is not out there. Ira Richards comes over and makes the tackle, sending 7. I was going to say, if we don't stop the run there, that's beyond me. Great play by Zach Jude there to get him in the backfield. Zach Jude kind of seems to be our blitzing linebacker. Like, if we ever run a set like this where we got 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, Jude's always the one rushing. I thought I had a sack there for sure, and he somehow got... I don't know if I think I got chipped by one of the linemen, like, last second, but... that would have been huge. To get off the field on the first drive that quickly, that would have been awesome. Nice hit. Oh, I thought for sure we actually stopped him short. I'm surprised they gave that to him. Phil Moses cannot handle the comeback routes, or the hooks, or whatever you want to call them. He does not do well against those for some reason. Isaac Houston almost picks it off. I thought we had that for sure. Dang it. Would have loved that. Isaac Houston lays out Anthony Cole after the catch. Good job on the receiver for holding on through that hit, that's for sure. Man. I thought for a second he was going to get through that guy and get a touchdown because there wasn't anyone left. I feel like our guys get pancaked on like every single play. Like every time there's like a screen or a run, I feel like half our guys end up on the ground. That was a good counter. We did stop them though. They're 100% going to run it again, right? Oh, they're throwing? Oh, well, geez. If they're going to be that open, you might as well. Touchdown, Steve Lewis, who, despite playing wide receiver, wears number 25. Northern Illinois, who we nearly beat in overtime, takes down Toledo only by 7. And I think, actually, we played those teams back-to-back weeks. We nearly lost Northern Illinois, then we got destroyed by Toledo. Toledo's quarterback had a much worse day than he did against us. And Ohio takes down Kent State by 21. That drive was disappointing because we had the play where I nearly had the sack with Zach Jude, and then the one where Isaac Houston nearly intercepted the pass, and like both of those would have been huge plays. But they just didn't quite go our way, as Swanson struggles to make much happen on the kick return. He is leading the kicker returner of the year race, or whatever it's called, somehow. I think it's just because we get scored on a lot, so he gets a lot of chances to accumulate yardage. Phillips trying to get the outside. He's just not fast, unfortunately. Ryan Matthews on the read option. Reads the blocking well. Oh my gosh, he fell down in the splits, but gets back up because he is tough as nails. That was such a bad throw. Did you see how far behind the receiver that ball was? He didn't lead him at all. I can't even take blame for that. That was on Matthews 100%. That throw was so bad. Like, he threw it actually behind the defender. That's how behind the receiver he threw it. That's ridiculous. I get it, Matthews isn't a good quarterback, but like, come on. That's like another level of bad. After that pathetic excuse of a pass by Brian Matthews, we are now down 14-0. Looking deep for Swanson. He's got him. 37-yard catch. Isaac Swanson was able to reel it in. Turned it upfield, and no one went with him. At safety, he made up a lot more ground than I expected him to, but Swanson was still able to catch it, thankfully. Landry puts a move on him. Can't really get past him, but I would argue he got a few more yards because of the juke. Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. No one was open, and I couldn't do anything about it. I hate those plays when there's just no separation by any receivers. The guy covering Randall on the drag route actually ran the route better than Randall did. Hoping for a miracle to Randall. No, sir. I don't think we can kick the field goal here, though, so I don't really know what to do. I mean, we might as well just throw up a 4 verts and hope something miraculous happens. We don't really have any other options here, unfortunately. I'm not about to punt it from their 40. Yeah, you know what? Arm punt. Trace McSorley special. What the crap? Hurdle's a defender, and he just... There's no one... What? Plays like that will never cease to, like, amaze me. How does that happen? We don't get runs longer than, like, 10 yards ever. Like, he got that, hurdled a guy who was on the ground in the backfield. That for some reason, that doesn't end up in a tackle. And then, like, I don't know where my safeties, my corner, I don't know where any of them are. They're just not there. They snapped that really fast. And this game's already gotten extremely ugly. I mean, unless our defense learns how to stop someone, we've already lost, effectively. Stops are very few and far between for this team, that's for sure. I don't know what that was, but I was trying to throw it to Phillips in the flat. Apparently Matthews can't throw up more than 10 yards. And after the first quarter, Bowling Green is completely obliterating Eastern Michigan, 21-0. I don't get how we can go out there. It's just like the week-to-week variation is what gets me. You know, we hang with Northern Illinois, almost beat them, and then get smoked by Toledo the next week. And then we come out against Western, we beat them, and then we come out, we're down 21-0 to Bowling Green. I should have thrown it to the guy in the flat, but I saw the defender coming over, and I was hoping he'd stay home to help block, but he just ran upfield. Yeah, just don't fumble. Of course, the one time I finally played the quarterback, he actually does hand it off. Thankfully, Houston came up and made a good play there on the running back. Isaac Houston was there again, couldn't quite make the play, but fortunately there were other guys to clean it up for him. Another third down. We've gotten them to third down quite a few times already, which I guess is nice to see. I just would also like to see us get them to fourth down once or twice. No, he's wide open. These guys don't fumble, even though our defense really blows them up sometimes. Well, our corner was there, but he just didn't make a play on the ball or the receiver. I didn't mean to hit stick with Williamson and make him fall on his face. I thought I switched to somebody else, but that is not what happened. So instead, I allowed him to get an extra 3 to 4 yards. Good tackle by Ira Richards to keep him from getting in the end zone, but I would expect them to punch it in right here. Yeah. I don't know what Williamson was doing. He kind of just stood there, watched the quarterback. At this rate, we're not going to get enough points to unlock Brian Thompson, unfortunately. We're going to have to start at least scoring, getting some good things happening. Did you see number 95 essentially teleport across the screen there? He didn't even end up making the play, but what was that? Swanson, 8 yards. Good first down play. Oh, Ryan Matthews actually makes a guy miss, but he gets swarmed by about 6 others. Yeah, when he's not fast, the only option is to try to cut it upfield, and that time cutting it upfield involved getting completely laid out. Oh, Ikaika Randall. Look at that upfield ability. I mean, he turned real fast to get a nice 20 yards there. As I was pointing out with the recruiting, if we bring in as many receivers as it looks like we might, there may be some cuts that have to be made. I think Randall's someone we're going to keep around. He's flashed a lot this year, especially there. I mean, that was some speed that we haven't seen out of very many players this season. I just want to get points on the board. Just don't get shut out. Nice pass, Matthews. Oh my gosh. That was like just as bad as the first pick he threw, but instead of behind him, it was in front of him this time. I mean, that was like inexcusably bad. He's wide open, just running across the field. Matthews shakes another tackle. Only gets 5, but still. It's nice to see him make a guy miss once in a while, because it doesn't happen often. Swanson makes the catch, gets the first down. Time's ticking. I'm mindful of that, but that's fine. We're not exactly like... We're not trying to score more than once this half. I wish the receiver would have held the block longer, because that's a touchdown if he does. Isaiah Hayden makes the catch and gets in for the touchdown. Guy tried to swat it down, couldn't make the play. And Isaiah Hayden, I don't think that's his first touchdown, but he's not exactly a featured part of our receiving core. Great play there to focus on the ball and then run on in for the touchdown. And we are on the board. We are not getting shut out today. And Brett Waller knocks it through as he always does. Ooh, number 9 Wisconsin on upset alert in that rivalry game. Now that's an upset because Minnesota's only 3-7. Yikes. Ooh, good play by Fisher. It's not often we see a good play on special teams, but that was a good play. And Ryan Carey, after almost throwing that one interception to Isaac Houston on the opening drive, hasn't thrown another incompletion the rest of the game. I feel like I've seen that before. You almost can't run a zone when there's that many receivers. We have to run man here, even though I don't like it because our guys aren't very good. Well, Williamson shed the block there, but I can never tell which guy they're switching me to. That's why the corner just kind of ran away. That guy wouldn't have made the tackle anyway, but that's what happens on plays like that. Yeah, of course it gets completed. How many Eastern guys do we have around that guy that caught it? Like 3, and the ball just kind of knifed through all of them. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Gosh, oh my gosh, I switched the wrong guy again. I'm trying to user the D-end, Williamson, to try and generate some pressure by myself because we're not generating any as is. I'm getting off the block normally, but the guy gets the ball out quick. Good play by Jackson. What's his first name? Jabari Jackson or something? He doesn't really make a lot of plays for us, even though I think he's actually one of our starting linebackers. But a good play there. And Ryan Carey throws it away for his second incompletion of the game. I may have to start using the pass rush more often. I like to use their linebacker, even though I'm not necessarily good at it, just because it helps me kind of like keep an eye on everything, the run game and the pass game. But I hate that so much. It's like I use the guy because I want to pick it, but then like he like veers off in a different direction than what I'm trying to do. I was trying to just follow the receiver, but instead he went like way out of bounds and then allowed the completion. It is beyond me that those end up as completions every time. I mean, they're throwing that right in the middle of coverage. I'm taking control of the guy, the nearest defender, trying to intercept it. He doesn't like react in time, so nothing happens. Oh, I missed. I shouldn't be that upset about missing a tackle in a game where we were already down by 21 points, but they didn't need to score again this half. And again, they snapped it super fast. I'm just gonna kneel this. He tried to take it out, but I didn't want him to. I thought he had it for a second, but alas, it was not to be. As we go into the half, down 35-7 to the Bowling Green Falcons. Yeah, and we're back. Back. I swear I've been going through puberty for like 10 years. Swanson actually returns this one. What? Blocks. And no one blocked number 14. If someone would have just blocked him, there was so much green ahead of me. Oh my gosh. I just cannot stand when, like, the blocker is there to make the block, and he just doesn't do it for some reason. Oh gosh. Can I throw it that far? I cannot. That's probably a pick. Oh, he was wide open too. And Chavis nearly knocks that guy out on the return. I should have known Matthews couldn't throw that far, especially on the run, but I don't know. I thought that was worth a shot for some reason. Maybe because we're down by 28 and I'm just trying to make some exciting things happen. That's probably it. Oh, I jumped off sides. Which is unfortunate. Oh, never mind. Okay, now it's unfortunate because we did stop him from getting the first down. Stupid play by me. Just like a lot of plays this game. Oh, Davis. I mean, there's just nothing we can do there. Our guys can't cover, apparently. I'm pretty sure the guy in the back of the end zone was the guy that was supposed to be covering him, but instead he was standing like 10 yards away. It's like watching Jared Davis on the Lions. He's terrible in pass coverage. That's exactly what that looked like. Block. Aw. Wisconsin puts up another touchdown as they try to hold off Minnesota. Alright, people, make your blocks. Okay, good. Not good. Good. Okay. I'm just gonna run it. Get out of bounds. Good work. You know what play we haven't run in a while? This one. QB slot option. I've tried to run it sparingly since the pitch got intercepted against Penn State, but oh gosh. His knee wasn't down. What are you talking about? Well, I guess that's why we don't run that play anymore. Oh gosh. That wasn't where I threw that at all. I was trying to throw it to like the middle of the field. Probably would have been the same result anyway, but still. I would like the ball to go where I want it to. Isaiah Hayden up the middle of the field. Let's go. First down conversion on 3rd and 16. He's produced for us today on his 2 catches, that's for sure. Big first down and a touchdown. Hard to argue against that. He's played well. Brian Matthews finds a seam. I don't know how he ended up getting spun backwards like that, but good run. Thought we had a touchdown here for a second, and then it was like something blew up. It's like he stepped on a landmine on like the 25 or whatever that was on his way into the end zone. That was weird. Oh my gosh, Matthews. Just throw it to the flat, or don't. That's fine too. I called the wrong play. Actually, of the 3 plays, this is probably the one I wanted to call the least. But we're gonna run it. Oh my gosh, he actually hits Trevor Morgan, who gets down inside the 5. I'm gonna guess the 3-yard line. I can't believe he actually threw that accurately the way he's been throwing today. But that was a very nice pass. Good catch by Morgan. And nearly punched it in. John Phillips punches it in for the touchdown. We're just going for stats at this point. But touchdowns always do feel good even when you're getting killed. Ooh, Michigan State and Northwestern are in a tight one. 35-28. Both in the top 10. That's an exciting matchup there. I kind of forget that we actually played Michigan State this season. That was so long ago. It went very poorly, but we did play them. We'll try and get them back next year. I hate it when I'm trying to view what play I called and instead my guy tries to pump up the crowd. How do you miss that tackle? Was that Moses? I'm going to assume it was Moses. How do you miss that tackle? Oh my gosh. Whoever the corner was almost made a great play there, but... Is that Moses? It looks like it was. I mean, he's right there. He just couldn't make the play. Cronin's having a good day in terms of total tackles, I guess. He's got 7 on the game. Not necessarily, like I say every week, it's not good that our safety is our leading tackler every week, but at least they're playing well. Big hit by Eric Davis. Shut that play down. I hit him as he threw it, and the receiver dropped the ball, thankfully. I hit the quarterback right as he was releasing that. I was hoping it would lead to him drop. Are they kicking this? What is this, a 55-yard field goal?
Nope.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, hypothetically, this game isn't over, but I mean, it's essentially over. I don't see us coming back from down 28 points. Tell you what, we're definitely not meeting Kyle Newby's little bonus point things, which I believe both involved getting sacks or something. It was sacks and tackles for loss, but they both involved the defensive line. And our defensive line has been pretty quiet today. Just all over the board. Oh my gosh. Evades the sack, but doesn't really get anywhere. We're going to try and get this play off. I don't know if we're going to. We did not. All right, that concludes the third quarter. Bowling Green Falcons have a 42-14 lead on the Eastern Michigan Eagles. Largely thanks to plays like that first one there, the interception. But we've done okay to score a few times, I guess. Their defense isn't great, which is the sad part. It's just Matthews isn't making good throws. It's like this is a team that we could score more than 14 points on if we were to play them again, but just not happening today. I don't understand. I really don't. I don't get it. Evades the sack. Can he get it? He fumbled. And that leaves us with 4th and 2. Well, we got to go for it. We did not get our other 4th down conversion attempt earlier, but that one was from 21 yards away. So that's probably why. I should have hit B. I don't know why I didn't hit B. B was open. Overall, terrible job by me. As Houston tries to knock their running back out for the next 5 weeks. I mean, are they just going to start running the ball on us? Or are they going to actually, like, run their offense still? Oh, yes, that answers that question. I got the snap count down really well there. Not really well, but, like, pretty well. One of their receivers has back spasms. We've become quite familiar with those this season. I feel like we've had that come up a lot as the injury. Gosh dang it. It's like every time we get like one play that goes our way, they just run it for 15 yards on us the next play. It's like we can't have anything nice for longer than like 10 seconds. Turn around, Williams. Oh my gosh. Golly. Eric Davis makes the play. Good job. He's going to become quite a player for us. He is only a freshman. And he's already been one of the more significant members of this defense this season, so I'm excited to see what the future holds for him. And he does knock it through this time. Probably because it wasn't from 55 yards away. Michigan State does squeak by Northwestern. I guess that's not surprising, considering they were the better team. That's a very typical Michigan-Iowa matchup. That's how a lot of them go. We won the last, I think we won, what, like 13-3 against them back last season, 2019 season. Swanson gets out to the 20. And looks like he might have gotten hurt in the process. That's unfortunate. Although I guess that means we'll see a little bit more of a Akaika Randall, which is never a bad thing. And speaking of Akaika Randall, there he is. Swanson has an abdominal strain. That pass rush got in there so fast. Landry out in the flat. First down. That's our little progress bar at the top that we got to fill up in this game. I don't think we're gonna do it, unfortunately. Which probably means we won't get Brian Thompson back. Akaika Randall down the seam. Can he outrun number 24? He cannot. But a great catch and run by Akaika Randall. Beautifully run route, got just enough separation for the ball to get there, and then couldn't quite win the foot race. I don't know what his speed number is, but it's probably not great. Nonetheless, good play by him there. Brian Matthews has a lot of room. Can he get there? He cannot, but he does get inside the 5. Naturally, we're going to try to run it in with Phillips first. Well, he had a chance for a second, but that D-end got off his block really quickly. Phillips does punch it in. That's a touchdown. Oh, and look at that. I think we just got our progress at the top there. I think the resetting of the bar means we got above what we needed. Wow, how about that? Who would have thought, the way this game started out, that we might actually fill up that bar? I guess we didn't need that much, but I mean, still, I was preparing for the worst. Well, naturally, we're going to go for the onside kick. Because what else do we have to lose? Strip it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Man, wouldn't that have been fitting? They get the onside kick and return it for a touchdown. Honestly, if they score again, cool, because that means we get the ball back and we get to try to put more points on the board. I definitely enjoy playing offense a lot more than defense with this team. Are they about to pass the ball? I was gonna say. What a hit by Houston. Wow. He shoved him back 5 yards. And that is gonna do it. Bowling Green takes down Eastern Michigan 45-21 in Ypsilanti. That's not exactly what I was hoping would happen. Like I said earlier, it seems like every time we have a good game, we come out and have a crap game the very next week. I think it happened when we beat Ball State. I'm pretty sure Buffalo beat us pretty badly, although I think we were in that game for at least the first half. That was a while ago now, so I don't really remember that well. And then we come out, barely lose to Northern Illinois because we decided to go for the win rather than extend overtime. And then we come back the next week and get utterly destroyed by Toledo. And then again, beat Western, and then we come out and get our score more than doubled by Bowling Green. I don't know. It's a weird pattern that has repeated itself this season, that's for sure. Nonetheless, the team showed some heart, I guess. We were able to score 21 points, even though I'm pretty sure they had 21 points before we did. Kaika Randall played well. Isaiah Hayden, he kind of did all his damage in the first half, I think. Although maybe his second catch came in the second half, but did a lot of his damage early with that touchdown there. And then John Phillips, of course, near the goal line, has been money all season because that's kind of his game. It's never fun to lose by a lot, but I mean, the offense at least did some good things. As for the defense, it's a whole other story. We do have one upgrade available. I know exactly how I'll be spending that, and I might as well include it in this episode, assuming it's going to work the way that I have been hoping it would this whole time. Okay, Brian Matthews, 10 for 22, less than 50% completions. That's not very good. 195 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks. Took 1 sack. The three picks are weird because the first was obviously a play or a throw rather, that was just terrible for no reason. The other one that I'm remembering was, of course, the one. Oh no, okay, I remember all 3. So there was that one. Then there was the one that was just kind of an arm punt on 4th, and I think that was actually the 4th and 21 play. We just kind of chucked it deep and tried to see what would happen, and of course it got intercepted in the end zone. And then the other one was when we had, I think it was either Swanson or Morgan deep, and the pass just didn't go as far as it needed to, so the corner was able to just get under it and pick it. So I don't even like the three picks. They weren't even necessarily bad decisions by me, although I guess the last one was. But yeah, I don't know. Weird picks for sure. Brian Matthews, 13 for 93 on the ground. Good game for him. John Phillips, 8 for 18, back to the production that we saw out of him for a large stretch of this season, but did have 2 touchdowns. Brian Matthews also had a fumble, but I think that one just went out of bounds. And then Mario Landry, 2 for 13, kind of just did his normal thing. And then Jared Chavis on that stupid wide receiver slot option play. Oh, I accidentally hit the B button. That stupid slot option play that I like just because it's a weird play, but it didn't work for us today. Kaika Randall was our leading receiver, had 3 catches for 67 yards. Isaac Swanson had 3 for 54. Isaiah Hayden had 2 for 44, including what I believe was our first touchdown of the game. So that was fun. Isaac Swanson had a drop as well. I assume that was the one where it looked like he caught it, but then their guy knocked it out or whatever. Trevor Morgan, 1 catch for 20, and then Mario Landry, 1 catch for 10. So not huge numbers in the passing game, kind of like normal. Jimmy Rogers and Patrick Francis each had a pancake, and then Greg Harrison, the right tackle, gave up a sack. I feel like he's given up almost all of our sacks this season. Defensively, Cronin was our leading tackler today, and then Ira Richards was second. Big game from him. I didn't realize he's only a freshman, so he's going to be around a while, and he's already a 69 overall. I guess it's a nice starting spot for him. Isaac Houston did his normal thing, 6 tackles. One of them was a tackle for loss. Jabari Jackson, that was his name. He got one. I think that was on the tight end. Zach Jude had one as well. So good game from the other linebackers that we have. No sacks, no picks, even though Houston 100% should have had one. I also don't think we forced any fumbles. We did not. Kicking, Brett Waller made all 3 extra points. Good job. Rasheed Berg's 1 punt was good. And then Swanson had another 148 kick return yards in this one, which is crazy considering I know I took at least 2 kneels in the end zone and like chose not to return them. So I even held him back a little bit, and then we didn't force any punts today. Oh, man. Player of the game. I don't think I can't give it to anyone defensively because no one really did anything. I'm not giving it to Matthews. I'll get to Isaiah Hayden. He got us on the board with his touchdown, and his other catch was also a nice 3rd and 16 conversion or something like that. Ikaika Randall did really well as well. Had more yards than him, but mostly for the touchdown, I'll give it to Isaiah Hayden. Not as many guys to choose from as there was against Western, that is for sure. Head coach N7 Ropi is now level 6. Awesome. That's kind of what we needed. We needed that desperately. And I hope after like how much emphasis I put on my idea for how we're going to get back in the Brian Thompson race, it better actually work. I'm going to be so disappointed if it doesn't. Okay. So I'm going to double check, make sure I have the right idea about it. So Locksmith, get back into locked out recruiting battles, must be in prospects top 10 and have offered a scholarship. We've done both of those. We can open 1 locked recruit per season. I don't think there's anyone else I would rather do it with than Brian Thompson. And you need to be within 2,000 points of the last place team to lose. So we're within 2,000 points of Florida, so I believe it should work. So I'm going to upgrade that. And we're going to head back into recruiting real quick and see if we can't get back in the race. At this point, I'm just throwing everything I can at him. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It won't surprise me if we don't end up landing him. He is a 5-star recruit. We're a 1-star school. So nabbing him would be like literally pulling off the impossible. We can open the door, and we are going to. I am sure, yes. Thank you very much. So yeah, like I said, we are now... So it looks like it puts us halfway between the 2 other teams. So it's definitely a good place to start because we're not behind anymore. But yeah, we're gonna really need some we're gonna need a lot of good to happen if we're gonna try and stay in this race, unfortunately. I'll throw the 500 points back at them, and per usual, I'll let you guys know if something happens. If we can just last 2 more weeks, we'll be good. Because I think we're in week 13 now, so he's visiting Tennessee this week. He visits Florida next week, and then he'll visit us that last week. So if we can just hang in the battle long enough to get to our visit, then that'll essentially guarantee that we'll at least have a shot at him in the offseason. Will we be able to bring him in then? I don't know, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And yeah, so week 14 at Central, who I believe is in last place in our division of the MAC. Hopefully we have a chance against them. I like to think we always have a chance. It's just a matter of how the first few drives of the game go that essentially determine if we're going to be in it or not. Because first few drives of this last game here, things didn't look good pretty much right from the get-go. I mean, throwing a garbage interception that they returned for a touchdown, I believe, on our first drive. I mean, that's like the worst way it can start, especially after we nearly forced 2 turnovers, 1 on downs. I guess a punt. Forcing a punt isn't the same thing as a turnover on downs, but you know what I mean. We almost had a sack on 3rd down, and then we almost had an interception, both of which would have ended with us getting the ball. It would have been a huge help to us, because then we could maybe actually score first. I know if we were to get the ball first, that would increase our chances of scoring first, but I like getting the ball to start the second half. I just feel like it really helps us, especially if we're in a situation like we saw against Western, where I believe we were down 14, we scored before the end of the half, and then we kept them from scoring on their final drive of the first half, and then we scored on the opening drive of the second half, and it allowed us to win. So now we are now back in the recruiting battle for Brian Thompson. I don't think there's anything really new here. Oh, Riley Smith's ready to visit, that receiver. That's exciting. Be sure to get him on the schedule. Aside from that, no real news. All right, so we are going to have a few points to play with, 209 or 190 to be specific. I don't know where those came from offhand, but we have points to play with now. And Central is 3-8, so maybe we do have a chance. And they're calling the matchup the Max Shame of the Week. That's a headline I don't think I've ever seen before. Oh well, we'll see what happens in that game. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I will see you guys in the next episode. Later, y'all.